It's an honor for me to be here. I'm really thrilled, and I've never done this before. I'm very excited, and I appreciate the chance. So, I grew up in California. I went to public school from second grade through college. I'm very proud of that. It's a humble brag, as my daughter would say. I went to Mesa Community College in San Diego, and I graduated from San Francisco State with a theater degree. So having this chance to come and really say thank you to my teachers and to speak to this issue means a lot to me. Okay, so I'm going to reiterate some of the things that the senator already said, if I may. Under the current system, a dance major cannot teach dance in our state unless they also get a physical education credential. A theater major, like I was, can't teach theater in this state, in the public schools, unless I go out and get an English credential. So we are one of 2 states in the entire nation that has this problem. And this bill basically rectifies that. It would establish credentials in theater and dance similar to those already that we have in music and in visual arts. So just to make a distinction here, what does an English teacher do? An English teacher has a great knowledge of literature. They teach grammar. They teach forms of speech. And they try to introduce reading, getting kids to read deeply, think deeply, and write cogently about a piece of literature, whether it's a novel or a poem or a short story. And that's a great skill, and it's a great art. Theater training is an entirely different experience. If I'm a theater teacher, I'm going to take a great piece of dramatic literature, whether it's Shakespeare or Thornton Wilder or Lorraine Hansberry, and I'm going to say, okay, kids, we're not going to sit at the desks to understand this piece of literature. We're going to push the desks to the side, and we're going to stand in a circle, and we're going to look at each other, and we're going to begin to not only intellectually absorb the brilliance of this writer, but on an emotional level and on a gut level. And that's the essence of theater and dramatic writing. It's a marriage of something that has great intellectual rigor with emotion and feeling. So that's the first step, is just getting everybody up. And then the second step is to teach them teamwork and discipline and generosity. You have to learn to listen. You have to learn to be there for the other person and really connect to other people in order to serve the writer. And the final step is then to open up the circle and stand on a stage, like you were mentioning, and try to communicate this experience to other people. So I'm not arguing that every kid become a theater artist, an actor, director, or a designer or whatever. I'm not suggesting that. But I am suggesting that learning how to take something that's intellectually complex and connect to it on an emotional level and then be able to communicate that is a very important skill. It's often what you all are doing on a day-to-day basis, is trying to take huge amounts of information and detail, understand it, make it clear and simple, and communicate it in a passionate and direct way. So don't get me wrong, I loved my English teachers. My ninth grade English teacher, Mrs. McLaughlin, took me to my first play at the Old Globe in San Diego, so I'm very grateful to her. I've been able to thank her publicly. And I had a great drama teacher who actually was an actress at the Old Globe, and she was very passionate about what she taught, and she used very sophisticated means, which I didn't even know at the time. It wasn't until later, and I started studying theater in more depth, that I understood and was able to really get what she was teaching us. So in closing, I was at my kids' school. My daughter goes to a private school in San Diego, in Los Angeles, called Buckley, and the dance teacher there, who I've known for many years, she's been there over 20 years, as have I. I have 4 kids. She said, "Oh, I heard you spoke about this bill that's coming out for us dance teachers." And I said to her, "Well, what about that?" She said, "Annette, I have a master's degree in dance, and I cannot teach in the public schools. I couldn't if I wanted to." So can you imagine the number of people in our state who have high degrees in theater and dance, and they can't teach in our state because of this law? So now, and from what I understand, it was really an unintended error. It was really an oversight that created this in the first place. It was just a technical thing that then got turned into something else. We used to have this prior to this change in 1960. We did have these credentials, and then they were eliminated. So I'm here to say, please do this for us. I think it's the right thing. I think it serves students, it dignifies our teachers, and it will uplift our community.